This is Martheya. So for season 8, we're trying something a little bit different. For our first episode, I promise we're gonna get to the guests. We have tons of amazing guests lined up. We've actually interviewed them in person, so those are coming to you real soon. But to start off this season, we actually have Reyna, who those of you who've been with us for a while might remember. She was actually a co-host on some of our earlier seasons, and she's now our, what are you again, Reyna?
I'm the manager of people and community.
Manager of people and community at kNOwBOX. So she's still very much involved in everything that we're doing behind the scenes. But today she's actually here going to be asking me some questions, doing a little bit of a solo episode so we can provide some behind the scenes insight to what we're doing at kNOwBOX and why this podcast is so important to the work that we do.
My first question, what is something that we're doing this season that's going to set up new artists or artists who are still trying to find their way within the Dallas-Fort Worth community through the podcast?
I think that's interesting to think about. I think this year, our 8th year, something that we're really prioritizing is the artists. That is our community. And at the end of the day, I think what's most important for artists is money and getting paid for the work that we're doing. We have a lot of conversations about artists doing things for exposure. We were just talking about this actually with our production team. Like, you guys didn't call it exposure, you called it something else, like doing it for experience or whatever. But at the end of the day, you need to get paid. And the only people who are actually gonna value you as somebody in a creative industry is respecting yourself and getting paid for what you're doing. And so that's what we're doing this year. Every guest on our podcast is receiving an honorarium. Every maker in our film festivals is receiving an honorarium. Our live performance artists, our production team, our editors, our designers. At the end of the day, that's something we're really proud of, and that's where the money's going. It's going right back to the people that are actually making the work and making things happen.
What are 3 of the main topics that you hear those that we've interviewed keep coming up? Is it like community or is it money, like you've mentioned? Can you be a little bit specific? Maybe that could really help us pinpoint some ideas as they prepare to listen to the podcast.
I think what's really interesting, a common thread I'm noticing, is people keep talking about being human. And I think that's kind of strange in a way, because it feels like one of those things that you shouldn't even have to like acknowledge or talk about. But I guess, we get into this in the season, with everything with AI and, all the different like politics around different technologies. I think having that like human-centered experience seems to be something that everyone is craving and striving for. And I think another theme is collaboration. And this seems to always kind of be present throughout all of our past seasons. And I'm looking forward to kind of diving deeper with the guests this season on what that actually looks like and means. I know Reyna and I offline have had some conversations about collaboration, because I felt like we always thought at first collaboration was like everybody's doing the work. But what I'm finding now, from my perspective, is collaboration is actually kind of sometimes stepping away and making space for other people to do work and bring their voice and opinions to the table. It's not always like being like the pick me, I'm here, like listen to what I have to say. But it's like, how can you basically shut up and listen? And let go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think something that people are really interested in is the topic of AI. Maybe can you talk about AI in your perspective, and kind of prepare artists into what our guests could be potentially talking about or are talking about? I see a lot of artists making fear-based decisions.
Yeah.
Based on that, either saying completely no to AI, and then I see a lot of artists taking advantage of AI as an opportunity to develop their artistic ideas. And so I'm curious about your thoughts in that as we kind of prepare ourselves for the season.
I think talking about AI is one of those like exhausting topics in a sense, and also like not a big deal in a way also. I think, in this season, maybe not a big deal isn't what the right way to say it. It's like not the most important thing in the room is, I guess, more what I'm going for. This season, I think you'll hear lots of varied perspectives on how creatives are thinking about exploring, utilizing AI. Initially, actually, when we were kind of dreaming up this season, there was more of a focus on AI, but I think it's important to like have this archive of conversation around AI and the impacts it's having and how people are thinking about it. But I also think, just like with social media, like just like the internet, just like any new technology that's created, it just comes back to like using it as a tool. And I think also you have to remember, like when we're reading and seeing all these videos like on social and things like that, like people are wanting to get a reaction, I feel like, out of us, and they're wanting us to like engage with their content. And so people are having such, just like in politics, right? Just such polarizing views. But I think, like you'll hear in this season, it's really a more nuanced conversation, framework, strategy for how people are thinking about AI. I mean, personally, like from an administrator hat, I fucking love AI because it's given me so much time back. I mean, when we first started kNOwBOX, I feel like the admin work was always falling like on Yejin and I, and we were spending so much time just composing emails, looking for email addresses, and now it's like in 2 seconds, like it's done for you. I mean, of course, you like edit it and things like that. But I think it's also, we have a whole database now. Like this is our 8th year and our 8th season of programming, and we have this whole database of like ways of thinking and conversations and questions and structures that we're able to bring in to how we're using AI. So, we're still having these ideas, and then we're utilizing AI to like enhance and take, a lot of time away from us to give us more time back. And I also I was talking with my partner too about AI, and he was like telling me like it's just like an Iron Man, like there has to be somebody in the suit, right? Like, so we're still humans. I think, like you talked about, there's so much like fear behind it. But at the end of the day, like it's just a tool. I personally didn't want it to be like the center of this whole theme for this season of the podcast, because I think the work that the artists are doing is what's most important. The relationships they're building and the impact they want to make. I think that's what we want to center and that's what we want to amplify. And I think it's important to hear how they're using the tools, because that's how we can pass knowledge along, to you all, and that hopefully you can try it on in your own ways. So, there's ways I'm using AI, like for grant applications, right? Like how can we feed in, previous applications we've done before and combine, some of those things, send it back to our team, and then we can look through it and edit it. I think in terms of like just all the budgeting and numbers, fun things, like how can we use AI, putting it in there, editing photos, like now with Canva, it has like an AI assistant. It can easily like create so many things. And just to say, that's not taking away from us hiring designers. We still are working with designers who are making content for us, but then they're able to also use, the AI tools to take up less of their time and help us in different ways. So I don't know. That's a long-winded answer on that.
I think what you're just saying too is that this can be an opportunity for the artist to have more space to create.
Right. To be the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be the artist that they want to be. So you talk about being humans, to sort of like humanity, collaboration, this idea of AI. Could you share something that you're really excited about that this season is going to provide our artists?
I think what I'm most excited about for this season is honoring the artists that are doing the work here in North Texas. So for those of you who don't know, kNOwBOX Dance is actually headquartered in North Texas, which is in like the Dallas area of Texas in the States. And this is a really special place for us because it's actually where our founding team, we all met. We all met in graduate school at Texas Women's University in Denton. And so many of our nights, you know, not being in school, we were actually driving down to Dallas to go see works that Titus Dance Unbound was presenting, where they were bringing in international companies. And, you know, I think those were such important moments for us to see dance from different perspectives from around the world being brought here to Dallas. I think we're just really excited to kind of honor like the beginnings of how we all met, and then also, you know, see the voices of artists that are creating now and have been creating in this area, and the value that has to dance and film. Well, thanks Reyna for helping out behind the screen. I'm trying to convince her to get back on the mic, but it still hasn't worked. Well, we're really excited for season 8, so stay tuned for some great and meaningful conversations with truly incredible artists here in North Texas, and we hope you love this season. Don't forget, say no to the box and yes to the future of dance. At kNOwBOX Dance, we operate as a dance think tank, bringing together artists, educators, innovators, and community leaders to explore new possibilities for dance in a rapidly changing world. We believe in centering dance artists, amplifying their work, and using technology as a tool to connect, create, and inspire. This season, we're highlighting the visionary leaders, organizations, and community builders shaping the future of dance and media across North Texas. Together, we'll explore the ideas, challenges, and opportunities defining what comes next for our field.